Hi everyone, welcome back. And if you're new, I'm Sandy. Today's video, I'm going to share with you 10 of my favorite pockets that I like to make in my journals. And so of course there's I'm sure way more than 10, but these are kind of my go-to that I like to do. So a super easy one we'll start with is called a torn pocket. And so I just have a scrap of scrapbook paper here, and I'm going to pull up a page in my journal. And a torn pocket, you can either just have it be torn on all three edges, or you can kind of have it be at an angle, but it's simply just tearing the paper. And if you tear the paper away from you, then you won't get the white edge. And if you tear the paper towards you, then you'll get the white edge on your torn part. So that's just the thing that you'll want to keep in mind, is if you want the white to show or not on your pocket. And I'm going to measure just roughly, let's see, I think we'll go along this way. So we'll tear here. So I hope everybody is doing well. I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. And then I think we'll make the pocket kind of about that big. There we go. And so there we have our little pocket. Get my little clip here, maybe clip this open. There we go. And then so this is just a very organic and simple way to make a pocket. And I love this look. It's one of my favorites to do. You could also tear along the bottom if you wanted to. And then I'm using Fabri-Tac glue, but you could use whatever glue you like to use. Reptile glue is another glue that I like to use. But any glue that you use. And then for the pocket, I just glued along the two sides and along the bottom. And there we have our first one, the torn pocket. The next one that I want to make is, I don't know what the name of it is, but it is kind of an angled stair-step down pocket. And I'm not sure what the name of it is. But I'm going to cut a piece of this scrapbook paper. It's so pretty. And this is number 2. So I'm going to cut this down. I had marked it with a pencil, so I knew the width of it. And so I'm going to cut it to where it goes across, and then it angles down. And I just love the look of this pocket as well. Let me find another page. And then I want to put it on, maybe I'll put it on that page there. Or, yeah, we'll put it on this page. That'll be pretty. Look at that old picture. That's awesome. That's my mom and my dad. All right, so I want to mark this. So I think I'll mark it right about there. So I'm going to cut over maybe a couple inches. So I got my pencil mark. So I'm going to come over like right about there. And then what I'm going to do, so we have this opening right here. So now I'm going to cut from here down to here. And actually I can go all the way across, and it'll make it a lot easier. And so now I'm going to take my cut line. So I'm lining this up on an angle, and you can do kind of however steep you want it. I kind of want it about like that, so it's going to angle down like this. And so when you put this onto your pocket, you then have this nice little shape where it just angles down. And I like this look. It's just kind of something different to change it up, and I love how it looks with that. So again, just take some glue, and we'll glue this pocket in. And again, I'm just going to glue along the two sides. Very cute. Okay. All right, number 3, let me look on my list here, is a fabric pocket. This is another one of my favorites. Like I said, all of these are favorites. So I take some fabric and I'll back it onto some sort of cardstock. And then also around the edges. You don't have to back it onto cardstock. You can just sew it straight down if you want. It depends if you're going for a more organic kind of look or if you want to have the full, have the pocket be a lot more rigid and sturdy. So for this particular one, I'm just going to have it be a little bit more rigid. So I am just looking for a page that I think might be a good one. Oh, I like this. So I'm going to glue this right in here. And you can trim off the sewn edges or just leave them dangle, your choice. And then we have a pocket. And when you glue the fabric down to the cardstock, you can just glue along the 3 edges. So then you'll have a pocket with the fabric, between the fabric and the cardstock, and then a pocket behind the cardstock. Or you can just glue the fabric all the way down. That is so cute. All right, the next one is a lace pocket, and this one I'm going to do in a more organic fashion, just so you can get the idea of kind of what I'm talking about. So here is just a piece of my an old sweater of mine, and you can either glue or sew this down. Since my pages are already sewn in, I am just going to glue it down, and I am going to use my Fabri-Tac since this is lace. So you would do the same thing if you were working with fabric without the cardstock on the back. But I love these lace pockets, and you can just use some lace that you buy at a store, or if you have some vintage lace. And I like because it's see-through. You can see through the pocket there. So I'll put that picture of my parents, and then that's my oldest daughter, and that is my niece. But I love lace pockets. I think they're really pretty. The next one is what I kind of like to call a collage pocket. So it's where you just take a piece of, you can take a piece of book page, you can take a piece of scrap paper, whatever you want. And so I've cut this down to be the size of a pocket. It's like we'll put it on this page here. And then you just pull out, I have my scrap bin here. So I just kind of ruffled through it and pulled out some things that I thought might be fun to collage with. So let's see. And I did pull out a label and a little butterfly. These other pieces came from my scrap bin, but I think that might look cute on there. And of course I love adding music paper, so we might add a little bit of this, and we'll add that along the edge, maybe like that. But I know there's a lot of new people on my channel, so I thought it would be fun to just make this video and share some of my favorite pockets that I like to make. And I love, this is just some brown tissue paper. I always think that's fun to add a piece of that. I think I'll add a little bit. This is a napkin that I have turned into a faux rice paper. So I have a video on my channel on how to do that, if you'd like to learn how to do that. But you can just use whatever you have in your stash. I have a little bit of coffee dyed paper too. That might look nice. I'm going to ink up the edges of this. And you could trim this down a lot closer. if you want. I'm kind of going for the torn look. I like that. And then we have our label I'd like to add. So we'll just use our glue stick for this. Might need a little extra sturdier glue for this bumped up edge. And then I think I'll just ink this up just a little bit. Yeah, like that. And we'll have our little butterfly. Let's see if there's anything else I might want to add. Maybe a little bit of this. But I think this is a fun way if you have, you know, a piece of decorative paper and you just want to jazz it up a little bit. Makes a great addition. Like that. And maybe just a little piece of, oh, I know, a little piece of this. That's what we need. Like that. So this is just some colored vellum. Yep, so we'll just cluster all this up. Put a little bit of, you could ink around that if you want to. And then we'll do this label. And we'll add the butterfly. So there we have just a nice little collage. It adds a little something extra to the pocket. And I am going to use my hole punch here and just make a little notch. And then we can ink around the edges of the pocket. You could sew around this, whatever you want to do. But I think doing a collage pocket is just really fun. We'll glue this one in. This is one of my flower journals. I like to kind of write about different family memories in this journal. Okay, so that was so I'm going to put all of this back into my scrap tub here for another project. All right, next up is a vellum pocket. And one of my favorite things to do with the vellum is to tear vellum. And so let's see if we can find another page we want to work on. Let's see here. This looks like a good one. So one of my favorite things to do is to tear the vellum, and I also like to add it with some decorative paper. And you can make it as wonky or as straight as you want. And then we'll add the vellum, and then we'll add the pocket on top. And so here I'm showing you where you have the white showing, or here you have where the white doesn't show on this one. So you can see the white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this down because I don't want to have the white. And so I am going to staple these together. And if you don't want to use any decorative paper, you can just do just vellum to make a pocket and just glue the vellum down. But I think adding the paper just adds another dimension. And so what you have here is you'll have a pocket here and you'll have a pocket there. So I'm going to glue these down. I'll put a little bit of glue here because I ran out of staples, but that's okay. And then we'll put a little bit of glue along the edges. And because we're not gluing right here, the vellum pocket will be, or the paper pocket will be all the way down to the bottom, since we didn't glue right here. And again, I like being able to kind of see through the pocket, but then we also have a pocket in the front. So we have a pocket here, and we have a pocket here. All right, the next one on my list is, so another one is a kind of taking a fabric snippet and turning it into a pocket. So here I have a snippet, and a snippet is where you take a collection of, you can either do a paper snippet or a fabric snippet, and this one is a fabric snippet. So this was a whole long roll, and I snipped off the pieces to use them in the journal. And so for this particular one, this is a little snippet that is just collaged of different pieces of fabric. And then I put a little bit of lace on top. And then I did a bunch of sewing on the snippet before I cut it up. And so I think I'm going to glue it onto this page right here and add another little pocket. So this is another collage idea, if you will, but it's taking fabric and making a collage. And so this was a full whole, a lot longer. It was probably like 5 or 6 feet long. And then you cut it off and use it for whatever different projects that you have. So this particular one, I've cut this and I'm using this on the paper. And I'm gonna have it hang over just a little bit. So I need to put a little bit too much glue to the end, and I can either trim this down if I don't want it to hang over, or I can leave it to hang over. And then we have our pocket right there. And I have videos on how to make these snippet rolls if you want to check those out. All right, the next one I like to make pockets with are these glassine bags. And this particular glassine bag, I have embossed it. This is how it looks if you haven't embossed it. But this one, I went ahead and embossed it. I thought it just adds some fun and interest. But for the glassine bag, I have this tracing paper bag, and I think even adding the embossed envelope onto the tracing paper is kind of fun. So you can ink these up as well, give it a little bit of color, and bring the embossed image out. And then we can ink up the edges as well. And you can either just put a plain one on there. I really like the embossed look. I think that's really neat. And you can either glue it down this way so you can get into the pocket, or you can glue it down this way and just have it be a pocket like that. And I think that is what I'm going to do here. So when you're first starting out, I suggest kind of starting with the supplies that you have. So if you have just some scrapbook paper, or even just decorative paper, even book pages, whatever you have, you can start out with. You don't have to buy all of these different ideas, all these different products. But as you start getting more experienced with junk journaling, it might be something that you would be interested in. And I think that just looks really cute. Another fun thing, speaking of not buying a lot of supplies, is envelopes. So if you have envelopes that you get in the mail, you can use used envelopes, you can use new envelopes. and these make great pockets. So you can just glue it down to the page like this and just glue the three, you know, the two sides and the bottom, or you can glue this way, the top, the left side, and the bottom. So then you have a pocket that goes this way, and you can do it and have this open up this way, so you have a pocket and a pocket. And you can decorate this up before you put it into the journal. You could cut this envelope in half, and then you could have a pocket at the bottom, and you know, just have a pocket come up to here, so it would kind of look like this if you cut it in half. And then you would just either, again, you would glue it along the top and bottom and the side if you want it to be a side pocket, or you just glue it on the two sides and the bottom if you want it to be a top pocket. So the envelopes, there's all these different ways that you can make pockets out of these. So the way that I'm going to do it for this one is I'm going to glue it in this way so that we can still open it, but I'm going to make it a side loading pocket. So I'm going to glue the top and bottom in this left side, and then I can come back later and decorate it up. I could stamp on it, I can add some decorative paper and collage on it, I could do some inking on it. So all different ways that I could decorate up this pocket. But now we have the pocket over on the side. So envelopes are really great, and if you're using used envelopes that you know, your mail that you received came in, you can decorate them up with ink or paint or other scrapbook paper. Okay, and number 10 is using book pages or music pages to make a pocket. And again, this is, say you have some old books laying around the house and you just want to use them to make a pocket. I'm going to find one last page that I can use in the journal. So here I've taken a piece of music paper and I have glued it onto just a piece of cardstock, and I'm trying to find a good pocket that I want to glue this onto, or a page, and I think I might glue it here actually. So I'm gonna again do the little notch kind of in the middle there, so it looks like a pocket. You could sew around the edges on this. I am going to just ink around the edges. I'm going to use broken china. All right. And then we are going to attach that right here onto this page. I'm going to trim it down just a little bit. I don't like all that showing on the edge there. Right. There we go. Perfect. All right. So yeah, pull out any book pages you have, music paper, ledger paper. They're great to use to make pockets. And that is number 10. All right, let's see if we can find them all in here. So the first one we did was a torn pocket. So we have this cute little torn pocket. We have, let's see, number 2 was our straight and then angled down pocket right here. Love that one. And then next we had our fabric pocket, which is, here is our fabric pocket. And next we have our lace pocket. And next we have our collage pocket. And then we have our vellum pocket right here. And then we have our fabric snippet pocket right here. And And then we have our glassine pocket, and we embossed the glassine. And then we have our envelope pocket, so it's a pocket here and it's a pocket here. And then we have our music page or book page pocket. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope this gives you all a little inspiration to pull out items and think about them a little bit differently from your stash. And you can really change up the look of your pocket in your journal so easily. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.